Hi Capricorn, welcome to your love reading for June 2019. This is Elizabeth with channelguidance.com. This month I'm going to be doing an extra spread for you. We are going to do the spread the way we always do with 2 decks using confirmation, and you did have a few jumping cards. We are going to do the usual X spread, but I'm also going to do a spread for those of you who are completely single and you just want to know if you're going to be meeting somebody new in the month of June. Now, let me go ahead and show you. I was not going to show you now, but it's possible that I could forget. I did forget what the sign of Leo, so oops. So I did want to show you the jumping card for those of you who are completely single, and I'm going to put it right back. You did have the 4 of Pentacles. So for those of you who are completely single, it could be that maybe you need to be completely open to meeting somebody new. It could be that you're still holding on to someone from the past. Again, this is for those of you who are completely single. There is nobody in the picture and you just want to meet somebody new. You want to have a new relationship in the month of June. Make sure that you're open. Usually with this energy, you're holding on to something. It can be something from the past, but it doesn't have to be. It could be that you're holding on to the way you want things to be, or maybe a certain, you want a certain timing or a certain type of person. Just be open. So let's go ahead and put this back in there. And let's start with the first 2 decks. And let me show you what cards you had from this first deck. You had the Ace of Wands and the 6 of Wands. So the Ace of Wands does represent a new beginning around you in the month of June. This can represent a new relationship for those who are single, but it can also just mean a new beginning in your existing relationship, a new beginning in your marriage. This is a clean slate, a whole new life. You also have the 6 of Wands, which represents victory. This represents being able to get past any obstacles that have been blocking you from being happy, from finding a relationship, from making a marriage or relationship work. So let's go ahead and begin. Let me put these 2 cards back in the deck in kind of random places. Well, keep in mind that they came up, and see if they come up again or something similar. Okay, this is the love reading for the sign of Capricorn for June 2019. You have the Knight of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Capricorn for June. The Magician. Love reading for the sign of Capricorn for June. The World. Love reading for the sign of Capricorn for June. You have the 4 of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Capricorn for June. 10 of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Capricorn for June. The High Priestess. Love reading for the sign of Capricorn for June. The Emperor. Love reading for the sign of Capricorn for June. The 6 of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Capricorn for June. And the 4 of Cups. Okay. What's the most important thing that Capricorn needs to hear about their love life for June 2019? The message that you have, Capricorn, is judgment. So remember, you did have the Ace of Wands jump for you. It didn't come up here, but you have something better, because the Judgment card does represent a new beginning for you. This can even represent a second chance, maybe a second chance with a specific person. Usually the Judgment card does refer to relationships that were over. This is a relationship rising from the ashes, but it can even represent you finding love again after maybe being disappointed or being deeply hurt. So we'll come back to this energy to see how it ties in with the rest of the reading. And if you would like a private reading with me, just go to my website, channelguidance.com. I'll put a link down below and also a link to my Facebook. And you should be watching this on YouTube channel, Channeled Guidance Tarot. Okay, so you have the Knight of Cups, the Magician, and the World. So the Knight of Cups is telling me that in the month of June, there is positive movement around your love life. The Knight of Cups means that things are moving forward. Usually this can mean some type of proposal. And yes, it can be a marriage proposal, but it can also just be a proposal to work things out, a proposal maybe to go out with somebody, a proposal for a relationship. The Knight of Cups just means that there's positive movement, there's positive growth in your love life. Your relationship is moving forward. Now you do have the Magician here, which means that how your love life is moving forward has a lot to play with where you are. What are you doing to allow this change to happen? The Magician means that you have to be empowered, because there is a new beginning here for you. The World is actually about endings, but it also represents new beginnings. It's time to close the door to the past. And it can definitely be for those of you where maybe you're in a relationship or you're in a marriage where there has been a lot of struggling, and it's time to leave that in the past. This can represent kind of moving on to the next cycle. It can represent closure, just kind of closing the door to the past, because there is movement here. This is a positive change in your relationship, in your marriage, in your love life. Things are moving forward, but you do have to stay empowered. The Magician is telling you that you're creating your own reality. So if there are changes that need to happen or decisions that need to be made, then you need to do them in order to have this new cycle in your love life. And this can be, usually the world, this represents victory. And you did have the Six of Wands jump for you at the beginning of the reading. So you do have this energy of victory as far as your love life, but you do have to stay in control. You have to be empowered in order for this new cycle to come in order for this change to happen. Now in the next row, you have the Four of Wands, the Ten of Wands, and the High Priestess. So for some of you, this can definitely represent a marriage. Again, a marriage where you're struggling. It can even be a live-in relationship or a relationship that you hoped would lead to marriage or something long-term. Usually the Four of Wands means this is a very stable relationship, but there's something here that's bringing it down. You have the Ten of Wands, which means there is a heavy burden around a relationship or a marriage. The Ten of Wands can also mean that you feel like giving up or someone feels like giving up. Again, you have to stay in control. You have the Magician. The Magician is telling you that you're writing your own love story in the month of June. So what kind of ending are you going to give yourself? You have to stay in control. And there is some type of burden here. This is some type of baggage that is weighing a relationship or a marriage down. And you have to trust your intuition. You have the High Priestess, which means that your intuition is spot on. Your intuition is telling you perhaps that this relationship has some issues, perhaps there's some heavy burden, but maybe your intuition is telling you that you're not supposed to give up yet, because there is a new beginning, which we do see here. There's a relationship that's moving forward, but perhaps there are some changes that need to be made. Again, this is a heavy energy where somebody feels like just giving up, just throwing in the towel because they're just tired and they're fed up with something. Usually something is bringing the relationship down. It's sucking all the happiness out of it. Trust your intuition. For some of you, it could be that your intuition is telling you things will work. We can work this out. For others, your intuition might be telling you that enough is enough and maybe it's time for you to move on. It's going to be different for everyone. Let's see what you have in this bottom row here. You have the Emperor, the Six of Cups, and the Four of Cups. So the Emperor, this is definitely tying in with the Magician, because the Emperor is all about you taking control, taking charge of your love life in the month of June. So for those of you, again, where there is a relationship or a marriage that is on the rocks and there is a lot of heavy energy around it, maybe your partner is really creating a lot of damage to the relationship or the marriage. It's really bringing you down. It's creating a heavy burden in the relationship. You have to do something about it. The Magician and the Emperor, somebody has to take control of what's going on. There is unhappiness here as well. You have the Four of Cups, which means that somebody is not seeing what is right in front of them. It can definitely be they're not seeing maybe the love that you're offering, or they're not seeing the marriage that they truly have, the happiness that they truly have. With the Four of Cups, you've just kind of withdrawn into yourself and you don't really care what's right in front of you. You're not really noticing because you're numb and you're hurting. For some of you, it can definitely be that for some of you, maybe you're hurting regarding someone from the past. The Six of Cups can be someone from the past. Let me just start there. For some of you, the Emperor is just saying you have to stay in control in the month of June. You have to stay in control as far as maybe your feelings for someone from the past. Maybe you can't stop thinking about them. Maybe this is creating a lot of unhappiness for you. Maybe you can't move on. There's a need to confront this. Again, with the Magician, it's the same message. And we will see what comes up in the X spread. But for some of you, this issue from the past, it could just be an issue that is hurting a relationship or a marriage. It's creating a lot of heaviness, a heavy burden. And again, this could be arguments from the past, emotional baggage from the past. It's making one or both of you very unhappy with the Four of Cups. Another thing that I'm noticing here is you've got 3 fours, and I'm still going to pull a lot more cards. You have the Four of Wands, the Four of Cups, and the Emperor is also a 4. So the 4s represent stability and a firm foundation. So I feel like in the month of June, there's a need to kind of rebuild the foundation of your relationship or your marriage. And for many of you who are watching, it could be that only you can do that. With the Magician being here again, this is very important, the Magician and the Emperor. Somebody has to take control of maybe a relationship or a marriage that is kind of spiraling out of control. There's a lot of heavy burdens. Issues from the past won't go away. It's making everyone unhappy. You're being told to trust your intuition. You know what to do next. Okay, let me get a few more cards for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Capricorn for June? You have the Ten of Pentacles. What other messages are there for the sign of Capricorn for June? The Devil. What other messages are there for the sign of Capricorn for June? And the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. So you have the Ten of Pentacles. You know, again, this can represent stability. And you did have those 3 4s, which represent stability and a firm foundation. And I said, I feel like in the month of June, you can work on that, having that stability and that firm foundation. This is here. I mean, this represents a happy marriage or a very stable relationship. This is being in a very good place in a relationship, but there's something here that's working against you. And the Devil can represent so many different things. It's hard to say in a general reading. This can represent that maybe there's a lot of negativity, a lot of fighting, a lot of arguments. Maybe someone is very pessimistic. Maybe someone, again, is damaging the relationship. There's a lot of heavy energy here, negativity. It could be cheating. I mean, again, it's a general reading, so you have to figure out how does this Devil energy apply to you. Maybe there's just a lot of negative thinking and fears. You're being told here that you have to do what's best for you. The Nine of Pentacles represents integrity and good decisions, self-worth, self-love. You have to do what's best for you. And again, with the Emperor and the Magician, I know I keep bringing them up, but this is saying you have to take your power back. You have to take control for maybe a relationship that has become unhealthy. Maybe because there is a lot of heaviness around it. Maybe too much has happened in the past here. Because for some of you, where there is no ex, for some of you, it can be someone from the past where you have to take control and maybe reaching out to them or figuring out if you're going to get back together. But for others, this is just emotional baggage from the past where you have to heal this. You have to get this burden out of the way. Now also with the Devil, this can also represent another Capricorn. Perhaps it could be your partner. It can be your ex. It can also represent somebody new coming into your life. But I feel like I had to mention that. But here, I mean, there is a huge message of stability. Perhaps you can work on rebuilding the stability of your marriage or your relationship. But there's also this energy of you being in control. The Magician and the Emperor. That is a huge message. Okay, let me get a few more cards from the confirmation deck. What other messages are there for the sign of Capricorn for June? You have the Eight of Wands. What other messages are there for the sign of Capricorn for June? The Knight of Pentacles. What other messages are there for the sign of Capricorn for June? And the Ace of Cups. What's the most important thing that Capricorn needs to hear about their love life for June 2019? The Hierophant. So the Hierophant is a very spiritual energy. So this definitely ties in with the High Priestess. The Hierophant is telling you, perhaps in the month of June, for those who are single, you could be finding that special person. This is a card of kindred spirits and soulmates, and really finding that place where you belong. But for many of you, maybe you're already with that person. It can represent your existing relationship or your marriage. The Hierophant can also represent the sign of Taurus. For some of you, again, this can be your partner, your ex, or somebody new coming into your life. Okay. Let's take a look at these 3 cards right here. There is a lot of change around you in the month of June. The Eight of Wands does mean that there is some exciting change coming to you. And usually this means that you know what it is because you've been looking forward to it. It can be a new beginning, maybe with a specific person because you have the Ace of Cups. Perhaps there is a relationship that's being rekindled, and this is something you have been looking forward to. The Eight of Wands usually does mean that it's not just something exciting happening. You have been waiting for this, and you had almost given up hope because there has been slow progress. And here you go. The Knight of Pentacles. Slow progress. It's been a slow journey, and maybe healing a relationship, or again, maybe working on the stability or the foundation of a relationship or a marriage. But there is a new beginning here for you. Remember that the main energy from the first deck was Judgment. This is a new beginning. This is a second chance for you to be happy, maybe with your current partner, perhaps with an ex, or maybe even with somebody completely new. So again, this message of stability, maybe bringing stability and finally having that firm foundation in your relationship or your marriage. But also, like, there's a need for you to do something with the Magician and the Emperor being here. You've got to take control of maybe a relationship or a marriage where it's become really toxic and negative. It could be so many different things. I feel like for some of you, it could just be that there is a lot of negative thinking. Maybe you're imagining the worst. I mean, you don't have the Nine of Swords here, but this sometimes just represents fear. You're being told here to trust your intuition. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the X spread using this deck right here. I've already shuffled it, so let me just get these out of the way. And for the X spread, it can represent someone that maybe you had a long-term relationship, but it can even just be someone that you dated and you just want to know if you're going to hear from this person again. Okay, let's see what comes up for you. Show me the energies around Capricorn and their ex for June. The Emperor, so this is a repeat card. Show me the energies around Capricorn and their ex for June. The Wheel. Show me the energies around Capricorn and their ex for June. The Nine of Cups. Show me the energies around Capricorn and their ex for June. The Sun. Capricorn and their ex for June. The Knight of Pentacles, so this is also a repeat card. Capricorn and their ex for June. And the Four of Swords. Okay. So again, I mean, I only pulled 6 and you have 2 4s again. So perhaps you need to work on rebuilding the foundation of this relationship with your ex. This is about maybe bringing stability back when you are together again. Let's go ahead and look at the first row. You have the Emperor, the Wheel, and the Nine of Cups. So, I mean, the Emperor is a repeat card because you did have this in the first spread that I did for you. And this means that you've got to take control here. Perhaps for some of you, there is something that you can do to reunite with your ex. Here it is. This is from the first spread that I did for you. So it's here 2 times. I mean, it's still the reading for Capricorn, so it is a repeat card in a way. The Emperor is saying here that there's a need to take control. For some of you, I mean, it can represent you. But if you've tried to reconnect with your ex and maybe they won't talk to you, because I mean, there is someone here, this is from the first spread that I did for you, there's someone here who's not seeing what is right in front of them. It can be that they need to take their power back with the Emperor. Because the Emperor means that you're in control of your life, you're in the driver's seat. And you're seeing, you're very hands-on in creating stability and happiness in your life. And you have the Wheel here, which means that there can be a positive change in your relationship with your ex. There can be a positive change. Also, the Wheel, to me, this represents a lucky, very lucky energy. So if you've tried maybe working things out with your ex before and it didn't work, it could be that in the month of June, this could be the perfect timing for you. This can be a very lucky time in maybe working things out because you have the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups represents wish fulfillment. Perhaps, a wish of being reunited with this person. Maybe hearing that they still care, that they still love you. The Nine of Cups is just being very emotionally fulfilled. But it does represent somebody taking control. And again, if you've tried to reconnect with your ex, you're going to have to use your intuition here since this is a general reading for thousands of people. If you've tried to be the Emperor and you've tried to take, control and bringing them back and they're resisting, then the message would be that you have to wait for them to take their power back from fear. Because remember, you did have the Devil there and the Ten of Wands. Now, down here, you have the Sun. So the Sun is the most positive card in the deck. So, I mean, for you to have it in your X spread is very positive because the Sun always means yes. It represents success, positive energy, love. So, I mean, you did have some heavy energy in the first spread. I mean, you had the Ten of Wands and you had the Devil. But you have success here around your ex. There is slow progress, though. You have the Knight of Pentacles. There is slow movement towards maybe reconciling or slow movement as far as, them taking their power back, being in control of their life. There's a lot of thinking going on here with the Four of Swords. Maybe they're trying to figure out, if they want to get back together. Maybe they're trying to figure out how to, take control here, especially if this is a very fear-based person. But the Four of Swords also means that maybe they just need some space and some time. The Four of Swords is a retreating energy where you just need a timeout. Somebody just needs a timeout to figure things out. This can even represent healing. There has to be healing, especially if something really painful happened in the relationship. But you do have this energy of positive energy, success. This is always a yes. And with the Nine of Cups, I see your wishes being fulfilled as far as your ex. Okay, let's go ahead and do the spread for those of you who are completely single using this spread, this deck right here. I've already shuffled it, so let me get these out of the way. And for those of you who are, maybe you're still waiting for your ex, or maybe you're just curious, can you meet somebody new? Then you would definitely want to watch this. Okay, will Capricorn meet a new partner, have a new relationship in the month of June 2019? Knight of Cups. Will Capricorn find a new relationship in the month of June? Two of Pentacles. Will Capricorn find a new relationship in the month of June? The Fool. Will Capricorn find a new relationship in the month of June? Page of Cups. Will Capricorn find a new relationship in the month of June? The Hierophant. Will Capricorn find a new relationship in the month of June? The Four of Pentacles. Remember that this card was a jumping card for you from this deck I showed you at the beginning of the reading, and now here it is again, and I've only pulled 6. So that is a big message for you, that maybe you don't want to be holding on to the past, especially, again, this is for those of you who are completely single and you just want to know, if are you going to meet somebody in the month of June, or can you? You can if you're not holding on to the past. If you're not holding on to the way you want things to be, just be open. Okay, so let's see what you have here. I mean, the Knight of Cups tells me that, you know, there is, like, literally for some of you, maybe a knight in shine armor kind of energy. The Knight of Cups usually means that there's, you know, romance in the air. Maybe there's someone who's trying to sweep you off your feet. Ironically, that was the first card from the first spread. Here it is. The first spread that I did for you. So, again, for those of you who are completely single, there is some movement here. All the knights represent change and movement, but this knight represents movement in your love life. There can be movement, but you need to choose. You have the Two of Pentacles. Usually the Two of Pentacles means that there's a lot of back and forth. And it could be maybe that you're undecided as far as do you want to move on? Because I feel like for some of you, you're holding on to the past, or you're holding on to the way you want things to be. The Two of Pentacles can mean that you need to decide. But it can also be that maybe there's more than one person coming in for you. I don't always read the pages as court cards, but for some of you, this can be a water sign. Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. You also have the Hierophant, which represents the sign of Taurus. So for some of you, there can be a water sign, or perhaps someone who is a Taurus who is around you. It's someone that you could possibly have, again, a relationship with here. The Knight of Cups is a repeat card. There is some type of romance in the air for you, for those of you who are completely single, but maybe you need to decide. Maybe there's more than one person with the Two of Pentacles. You have the Fool, a major arcana of new beginnings. But this is telling you you're going to have to just trust. Trust your heart and your intuition, and you did have the High Priestess in the first spread that I did for you, so you can trust your intuition. Perhaps your intuition is telling you that the Taurus is the one for you. For others, your intuition could be telling you the water sign is the one for you. The Fool is telling you there is a significant new beginning for you in the month of June if you want it. But it's saying that there are no guarantees, and you're going to have to just trust and dive right in. Some of you may be hesitating here with the Four of Pentacles. And again, it can be a Taurus or a water sign. But the Page of Cups can also mean that there's a lot of communication. There's perhaps a lot of emotions being shared. This is a heart-to-heart conversation. A lot of intimate conversations here with the Page of Cups. People speaking about their feelings. I feel like the sign of Capricorn, like there's definitely an opportunity here for you to be in a relationship. Somebody new wanting to come in. Just be open, because this Four of Pentacles, it is significant. It jumped for you at the beginning of the reading, and I've only pulled 6 cards, and here it is again. So you don't want to be holding on to the past, or you don't want to be holding on to the way, you know, you want things to be a certain way. Just be open. There is someone here who is trying to romance you, someone who wants to come in and, you know, bring romance into your life. Just trust the Fool. Okay, Capricorn, this has been your love reading for June 2019. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you again next month.